ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमहायोगीव यस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ भद्रं कर्णे विशृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो हरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Page 41. 7th Kārikā. विभूतिं प्रसवं त्वन्ये मन्यन्ते सृष्टिचिन्तकाः स्वप्नमायास्वरूपेति सृष्टिरन्यैर्विकल्पिता. Bhashyakara says on page 42, third line in Bhashyam, Atah tat chintayam eva adarah mumukshunam aryanam न निष्प्रयोजनायां सृष्टौ आदरः इति. अतः सृष्टिचिन्तकानाम् एव एते विकल्पाः इति आह स्वप्नमायास्वरूपेति स्वप्नस्वरूपा च मायास्वरूपा च इति. Anyway, so here this 4 Karikas, I mean starting from 6, 7, 8, 9. This 4 Karikas is an explanation of the 6th mantra which we already saw. 6th mantra of the Upanishad, in which this third pada has been defined as a Prajña or Ishvara. And Ishvara has been said as what? Karanam there. Karanam of the entire universe. And our purpose is not to talk about the creation, sṛṣṭi, etc. Because creation is basically an adhyāropa. Since everyone experiences creation, Shastra accepts temporarily that there is an acceptance of creation. The temporary acceptance of the creation is called adhyāropa. Yeah. Like you accept. So everyone says that there is a pot and one can fill up the water, therefore there is a pot. So, well, the person says, yes, there is a pot. So acceptance on the part of this person of the pot is called adhyāropa, because he is seeing only clay. Still he accepts. That's how it is. And therefore, basically it is in the form of adhyāropa. And this is that's how we say the technical name for the creation or the sṛṣṭi in Vedanta is adhyāropa. Pot is also a sṛṣṭi. Same thing. Which itself means a temporary acceptance. And since it is temporary acceptance, means what? Will be negating the creation soon. And that will be called apavāda. So that is how Bhagavan also did. Masthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu avasthitah. Right? Nacha masthani bhutani. Masthani sarvabhutani. All the beings are there in me. Is accepted. Temporary acceptance, all the beings, sṛṣṭi, jagat. Then, nacha matsthani bhutani, apavāda. Anyway, so Vedanta discusses the creation without any tatparya, because we are going to negate. And therefore, we are not sṛṣṭi chintakaha. Sṛṣṭehe tatparyam nasti. And to convey this idea, well, this Karikas, 7, 8, 9 especially, where this Gaudapada Acharyaji introduces several theories of creation, who are accepting creation. And they have a various philosophy. And then, well, he ultimately concludes in the 9th Karika, we'll see, Devasya esha svabhavaha apta kamasya kaspruha. Like that, he dismisses all these views regarding creation, because the very creation is adhyāropa, and therefore our tatparya is is something, the adhisthana of the adhyāropa. Our tatparya is not in adhyāropa, the sṛṣṭi. Therefore, we are parmarthika chintakaha. Whereas these people which will be described in 7, 8, 9, they are sṛṣṭi chintakaha. They explain. Somebody says it is a sports of it, leela of Ishvara. Somebody says it is ichha matram, etc., etc. Varieties. So, because ultimately all that is there is one Brahman or Ishvara, and he doesn't need any purpose for the creation, because there is no need of creation. There is no creation at all that way. So anyway, so and in that we are right now in this 7th Karika, and in that also last part, and it says ataha tat chintayam parmarthika chintayam turiya chintayam eva adaraha. Our adara, our commitment, purport is in that. So whose purport is that? That is being said, mumukshunam, aryanam. Who are Vedikas, they accept the Veda as a pramana. Veda reveals the tatparya of the Veda is not in the sṛṣṭi. Tatparya of the Veda is all that is there is one Brahman, ekam advitiyam Brahman, purnam Brahma, etc. And therefore, mumukshunam aryanam, Vedikanam, adaraha turiya chintayam, na nishprayojanayam sṛṣṭau. There is no purpose of the creation. When you say there is a purpose in the creation, means you are accepting the creation. Yeah. When there is a superimposition, then therefore, when you understand it as a superimposition, understanding the adhishthanam, the whole thing becomes a superimposition. In that case, there is no prayojanam. There is no prayojanam of the sarpa, which is superimposed upon the rope. So, nishprayojanayam sṛṣṭau adaraha na iti atah sṛṣṭi chintakanam eva ete vikalpaha. All these various views which we have started discussion. Iti aha swapna Maya-svarupa. That has been said in the Kārikā itself. Swapna Maya-svarupa. Bhashyakara says swapna-rupa cha Maya-svarupa cha vikalpaha. All these views are, somebody says this creation is like a swapna. So, well, if you accept this creation, this creation which you are experiencing, objective creation, experienced by all, one and all, right, in a waking state, in the same manner, and in that, well, of course, one projects, depending upon one's own likes and dislikes, one projects, that is there. But otherwise, the creation is available. For the same person, the creation also is available next day. When he goes to sleep and comes out, then he sees the same creation. Where he has dropped the specs, there only you will find next morning. And therefore, this creation is not a dream. A dream, even if you only experience the dream, other people cannot experience simultaneously your dream. Not only that, you will not be able to experience the same dream world next day in the night. And therefore, and it is born of just your vasana, jiva's vasana, and therefore you only create every world, every person's dream world is entirely unique depending upon the vasanas the person has. And therefore this objective creation, just you just can't say it is a dream. It is exactly like this dream. No. Like dream, when you say, we also give example, but our tatparya is that the way there is no adara, there is no purport in the dream world, and you don't give purport, you don't give weightage to the dream world. You only, you at the best, you can say, well, look at me, the waker, well, who projects this entire dream world in terms of sentient, insentient things, including time and space. How one thing appears as the entire, all names and forms. That way you appreciate whatever is there in the dream world, the truth is you. And therefore, definitely that is the tatparya, that I project the dream, not the dream world as such. What is in the dream and how it is there, what is it, what does it indicate? Does it, if I see something in the dream, well, does it mean something that in waking world I will experience something? No tatparya. Therefore, we definitely say that the maker material is you of the dream world. Same way the maker material, etc., is Ishvara, and that is Chidananda, that is consciousness, which is you. Anyway, so my point is, all this duality which you see, varieties of the things are you see, varieties of the attributes are you see, your experience is also of duality, but there is no duality. There also in a dream you create a duality, it's also projection, that the dreamer and the dream world, the dream experiencer and the dream objects of experience, etc., that kind of duality you experience in a dream world, but it's ultimately you remaining as a non-dual waker, you project entire duality upon it. Same way here also, this the subject and object, the waker, the waking experiencer and the waking objects, appears that there is a real duality, but it is not. From the standpoint of the consciousness, the reality, well, all that is there is simply projection. That consciousness is one without the second, which appears in the form of subject and object. Subject and object both are non-separate from this consciousness, and therefore it is whole. Because they are non-separate, means they are just projected. Therefore, subject and object cannot divide that consciousness, which pervades both of them. That is a whole. And therefore, that is the purpose. For that, to make you understand, we give example of a swapna. Not that this is exactly like a swapna. No. Therefore, it says this vikalpa we don't accept. Swapna. Also, even though we give example, but it is with a different intention. Remaining in the purport. The purport our is in consciousness. And there it is a waker consciousness. Here it is a just consciousness, limitless consciousness, etc. Anyway, so this is how Swapna, and Vishishta Advaitin well says Swapna also is a reality. Swapna also is created by Ishvara alone. You cannot create Swapna. Swapna is created by Ishvara, it's part of Ishvara's creation, and therefore this objective creation also is real, Swapna also is real. There is nothing called mithyā, etc. That is what his intention is. That way they say this creation also is real, like the swapna is real, created by Ishvara. This sṛṣṭi or swapna sṛṣṭi. Objective creation with the Jagrat sṛṣṭi or swapna sṛṣṭi, all are created by Ishvara alone. And that is anything created by Ishvara we cannot call mithyā. It's an insult to the Ishvara. And therefore, they don't have a word called mithyā, etc. Anyway, so that way also we can say we are refuting that. Okay. Then the second part is a Maya-svarupa. There where I have to discuss few things with you. Because we also use this word Maya. And here Maya-svarupa means this creation is basically a Maya. And that has been negated, refuted as a vikalpa, as a view by Gaudapada Acharya. Then we feel that we are negated because we say this is Maya. But we should understand very well that this Maya means the people who say this creation is a Maya, they say that basically the Ishvara has some power. Really, there is a power, Maya, which is there with the Ishvara, which alone he manifests as the entire creation. So there is Ishvara, the consciousness, Chidananda, that's fine, but the Maya also is there with him. And he manifests this Maya in the form of this Jagat, that sṛṣṭi. And therefore, their acceptance of this Maya, the Shakti basically, creative power, is there in Brahman. Please understand that Maya, the Shakti, is there. Means it is real. But it is non-separate from Ishvara, that is fine. But it is real. There is some power with Brahman, not just Advitiya Brahman. No. There is a power. And we differ here, even though we say Maya, but we differ here. And that is where I have to say few things regarding Maya. Okay? And therefore, there I have to say something regarding Maya. So, and I started that discussion in a last class, and I said that, well, it is, I said it is Trigunatmika, etc., some power, creative power, and then power of activity, and then power of inertia, that is Sattva, Rajas, Tamo, Gunatmika, etc., and that is also called a Vyaktam, because it is nothing but this unmanifest world, that alone manifest. When unmanifest manifests, we can say there is a power which is there, alone manifest, Shakti, etc. Then we said avidya also, which I explained you in the last class, and all this avyakrutam, which is undifferentiated, definitely, when the things are not manifest, then they are not differentiated also. You will not be able to recognize one object different from the other. All that we have discussed. Only Maya part was left. So, what is this Maya? And well, Maya means basically, logically you cannot categorize. More you think about it, more you try to explain it, more you find a confusion. That's called Maya. Because intellect ultimately analyze anything, and as it analyzes anything, it keeps it starts putting the things which are analyzed into various categories. That is how our intellect proceeds. Okay, our intellect proceeds in analyzing things. Then at the same time, intellect will judge naturally. Nishchayatmika buddhi, and that nishchaya is in form of a category. And here what we are discussing regarding Maya, as you think about it more, and you analyze it more, your intellect is not able to decide to put this Maya into a specific category. That is why it's called Maya. Please understand this very well. Anyway, so intellect has to decide that this is of this nature. This is of this nature. Here, in case of Maya, you will not be able to decide it. That's how a specific word Maya has come. Logically not available for categorization. They say inexplicable and all, means cannot be explained. If it cannot be explained, means then we should use the word Maya, and further any kind of lecture on that is not good, because Swami is trying to explain Maya, which is translated as inexplicable, means the Swami is foolish, right? Swami is foolish. So that's not a proper translation. Puja Swamiji didn't like that translation. Inexplicable, etc. It's nothing called inexplicable. We are explaining it and showing you that it is not available for categorization. That is our explanation. Please understand. It's not available for any categorization. That's how another word, anirvachaniyam, also is there. So logically uncategorizable. That's called Maya. And that is why, to explain that, the nearest example we always give is a magic show. Magic show is something which you cannot logically explain. The person enters into a box. In a box, he shows a box to you, and that box is only has an opening. Other three sides are closed. And he puts that box in a stage, and he enters there. Fine. As he enters there, fine. But then he comes out from the, he enters into hall from the back door. He entered there on the stage, and which has no opening. And then he should come out from the same, opening. I mean, there is no other opening. He has to come out from the box which has opening, that side only. No, he comes out from the back door. You must have experienced it. And so this is, experience is there, but now you logically want to, analyze it. It is not available. Whether it is real or unreal, you cannot. Totally unreal means non-existent, you cannot say, because everyone experienced, all 600 people experienced it. And therefore, and really also, it is existent. Well, he entered there and he can come out from the back door, etc. That is not. So that is how we always give this kind of the nearest example we give. Pashakara himself gives in a Dakshinamurti Stotram. Well, he says, Maya viva vijrumbhayatyapi maha yogi va iva svechaya. Mayavi iva. Like the Mayavi, like the magician, Ishvara is, compared to that magician. Like that it is. Anyway, now let's start. Category. And you will find that Maya is not available for any category. Maya is existent or not existent. Very first thing. Look at that. I already told you. The Vikalpa, the other person's view is, which has been negated by Gaudapada Acharyaji, is what? Maya-svarupa. This creation is a Maya. Means basically Ishvara has a power. There is a real some power in Ishvara which he manifests in the form of the creation. Here we start with, is the Maya, Maya is existing or not existent? Maya is Sat or Asat? You cannot say. That itself is difficult. If Maya is Sat, then being a Vedantin, we know this word Sat is only used for Brahman. And therefore, if Maya is Sat, means Maya is of the nature of existence. Maya is real, right? Maya is real. But we say Brahman is real. Brahman is the truth. Brahman is of the nature of existence. That's how we use word Brahman, word use Sat for the Brahman, Satchidananda. Therefore, basically if Maya is also of the nature of existence, Brahman is of the nature of existence, and Maya is Sat, Brahman is Sat, then we definitely Maya will be another name for the Brahman. Because Maya is Sat and Brahman also is Sat. Therefore, okay, sometime you say Satchidanand Brahma, sometime you should say Satchidanand Maya. But you don't like it. So, therefore, Maya is really not of the nature of existence. Not real. Okay. Maya is Asat. Maya is non-existent. Well, that is also not possible, because if the Maya is basically non-existent, then Maya, the unmanifest, the potential, cannot be the cause for the creation. Because what you see this manifest was there as unmanifest. That's called Maya. If you say Maya is non-existent because there is nothing called unmanifest at all, then from where all this has come? All this which you experience as existent definitely was there as unmanifest. And therefore you cannot call that as a non-existent, unmanifest non-existent. You cannot say. And therefore, a non-existent Maya cannot become the cause of the creation. Maya cannot be called existent, real, because the Brahman is of the nature of existence, lends existence to everything. If you say Maya is also of the nature of existence, lends existence to everything, then Brahman and Maya are just identical thing only. And therefore you can use word Maya also for Satchidananda, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Maya, you can say. We may change the gender, Maya being feminine noun, you can say Satya, Jnana, or Ananta Maya, you can use. Meaning will be the same, only it is a grammatical change. Anyway. No, that is, so Brahman, Maya cannot become the cause of the creation if it is a non-existent. There cannot be a non-existent cause, you know. If effect is existent, there must have been cause which is existent. Anyway, so this is another thing. Okay. And if Maya is not a cause of the creation, let us accept Maya is not a cause of creation. Then what will be the cause of creation? Because Maya is all there with the Brahman. And therefore, Brahman is the cause of the creation. Brahman is not the cause of creation. Brahman is not a cause, not an effect. We have already seen. Brahman is karya karana atitam, and therefore, Brahman cannot be the cause also for this creation. And therefore, we have to say Maya is the cause of creation. Unmanifest only comes to the manifest. What is potentially there only comes to the manifest. Therefore, potential is called the Karanam. We know very well the potential tree which is there in the seed. That's how we call seed as the cause of this the tree. Anyway, so a non-existent thing cannot create anything, cannot manifest also. Therefore, Maya is not Sat, Maya is not Asat. Well, mix it. Yeah, let's make a mixture. Sadasat. Maya is Sadasat. Maya is basically Asat and Asat, existent and non-existent. You cannot basically combine. Well, you cannot combine. You cannot make a mixture of Sadasat. They can never be combined. It's like combining light and darkness. It's like combining fat and lean. It's like combining fair and dark. It's like combining tall and short. Swami is tall and short also. What is this? What is this? Swami is lean and fat also. Swami is fair and dark also. Ye kya baat hai? What are you saying? So basically, we cannot opposite attributes, well, they are mutually exclusive and therefore they cannot coexist. Mutually opposite attributes, mutually exclusive attributes cannot coexist. And therefore, you cannot form a mixture. Anyway, therefore Maya is not Sadasat also. Maya is not Sat, Maya is not Asat, Maya is not Sadasat. Very good. Therefore you should say what? Maya is Sat, Asat, Vilakshanam or Sadasat Vilakshanam. Sadasat as such we cannot say at all. Therefore Maya is Sat Vilakshanam also, Maya is Asat Vilakshanam also. Maya is something distinct from existence, existent thing, real thing. Maya is something which is distinct from unreal thing, non-existent thing. Unreal means non-existent thing. Okay? There is something which we cannot call it as real, cannot call it as unreal, cannot call it as existent by nature, true by nature, cannot call totally non-existent, zero, shunyam by nature. Means it has a seeming existence. Yeah, seeming existence. Okay. Then further. So this category, existent, non-existent itself you are not able to establish. Right? So if your mind has started getting confusion, means you are really understanding Maya now. Okay. If you say I have understood Maya very well, means you have not understood. If more I will discuss, more you find that this is really confused. My intellect gets confused into this. My intellect is not able to brand it, not able to analyze it. then you have a real understanding of the Maya. Anyway, now further category. Is Maya identical with Brahman, or is Maya separate from Brahman, different from Brahman, or identical and separate, both? Separate, non-separate, both. Well, this classification also is not possible. Well, basically, it's like, you can talk about two things. Like, let's say first, you say, as I used to give this example, you say jalam and water, means they are identical. They are identical. Only two words are used for one and the same thing. Same way Maya and Brahman are identical, then in that case, basically, well, you can use either of that, but that's not. Ekameva advitiyam Brahma we see everywhere in the Shastra. We never say Ekameva, Ekaeva advitiya Maya. We have never said that. Nowhere this kind of statement is there. And therefore, this Maya and Brahman are just identical only. Total identical. Like Jiva and Ishvara. Total identity. You see the difference, it is of ignorance. That's what it is. Therefore, if Jiva is another entity and Ishvara is another entity, then they are separate entity. Then the identity is not possible because they are distinct. If Jiva and Ishvara identity, that is the subject matter of the Vedanta, means Jiva is Brahman or Jiva is Ishvara, either way you say. That's fine, because Ishvara also is Chidananda only, Jiva also is Chidananda. I have explained you Chidananda Rupa Shivam. Anyway, so basically Jiveshvara Aikyam, you do Bhagatyaga Lakshana, that's okay. Sarvagnya, Sarva, etc. You remove here, that's Maya only, and that is here also you remove Alpagnya, Alpashakti. Basically, they are mithyā, upadhi. I don't want to. So, Swamiji, Jiv Brahma Aikyam or Jiveshvara Aikyam, please don't ask. It's one and the same thing. But anyway, so here, well, so Jalam and water. Well, basically it is, the one and the same thing. You use a synonym for that. So, because they are identical. And, but if they are separate, different, then like Jalam, or let's say water and cup, well, that is, yeah, you know they are quite different from each other. So, now here let us understand, suppose Maya is identical with Brahman. Okay? Maya is identical with Brahman. Then there are two possibilities. We have to negate it, right? So, Maya is identical with Brahman, then there are two possibilities. The first one is what? If Maya and Brahman are identical, Brahman is what? Consciousness. Jnana-svarupa, Chaitanya-svarupa, Chit-svarupa. Then Maya also should be Chit-svarupa, because they are identical, one and the same thing. Jalam and water, same thing. And therefore Maya also will be Chetanat. Then how will you account? If Maya is Chetanam, fine, let's accept it. They are identical, Maya and Brahman. Then how will you accept this creation, which are elemental creation? So there are elements, and all are inert, and they become an object of consciousness, object of knowledge. Therefore, if you accept Maya as a Chetana Tattva, because Maya and Brahman are identical, in that case there will not be objective creation. There will not be object of knowledge at all. There are no objects. Anything which becomes an object of consciousness or object of knowledge proves that the object is of the nature of Jadam, inert. So therefore, Chetana Tattvam only will be there, consciousness will be there. There will not be any objects at all. Anything becomes an object for you, the consciousness. It proves that it cannot reveal itself. It has to be revealed by the consciousness, that is you. And what is revealed is of the nature of Jadam, inert. What reveals itself is Chetanam. What is revealed by Chetanam, self-revealing consciousness, is inert. Consciousness reveals itself and also reveals the entire objective creation, which is inert. And therefore, Maya and and Brahman cannot be identical. Okay. If Maya and Brahman, are identical, one possibility is that Maya becomes Chetana. That is not. Because what will account for this objective creation, Jada creation, elemental creation, etc. Okay. The second possibility, if they are identical, is Maya will also, Brahman will become Jadam like Maya. Right? If you say Maya cannot become Chaitanya, then how will you account for this creation, which is Jadam, which does not reveal itself, proves it is Jadam. Okay. Then other possibilities, Brahman and because Maya and Brahman are identical, therefore Brahman is Jadam. If Brahman is Jadam, there will not be any experience. There will not be experience. Without consciousness, what is the experience? There is no experience at all. Huh? So you cannot say there is a creation because it is not revealed. If it is not revealed, how will you prove the existence? In fact, the whole creation, including time and space and all the objects, basically are proven existent when they are revealed in consciousness. Otherwise, they cannot be proven existent. Therefore, if consciousness, Brahman, E and Maya are identical, then consciousness, the Brahman becomes Jadam. Other way is not possible, we saw. Then Brahman becomes Jadam. In that case also there will not be any experience. Experience proves that there is something called object of knowledge, object of consciousness. Anyway, okay, they are not identical. Forget about it. Brahman and Maya are not identical. They are quite distinct from each other, independent of each other. Okay, then you have brought Sankhyas now. You have brought Sankhya. So Maya is a separate entity and Brahman is a separate entity. So two separate entities are there. So like father is separate, mother is separate, and that's a very good arrangement also. That is how the creation is. Father, mother both, right, are required. So same way here, one Chetana Tattvam, Brahman, Maya independent of that is Jadam. Nice explanation. And therefore, well, combined together they create whole thing, etc. So Acharya says that is not possible. Maya cannot be basically accepted as a different entity. If they are separate entities from each other, each one will limit the other. Naturally, when you count two, definitely you are able to count because the first one is not whole. One is not whole. One is not all pervading. One doesn't pervade at least where the second is. That's how you are able to count the second. And therefore, if they are separate entities, Maya and Brahman are separate entities, well, then there will be a problem of a duality also. That is also okay. But there will be a problem of limitation. But then all that is also okay, Swamiji. Maya will limit Brahman, Brahman will limit Maya. And then you have to, first thing is you have to basically drop the word Brahman. If that is the case, Brahman word itself becomes meaningless because Brahman means Brihatvat Brahma, which is infinite. That's what we have already seen, which is the big. When you say, then definitely there cannot be any other thing other than that. Otherwise we cannot call the big. Therefore, that Maya cannot be a separate entity. And naturally, if they are separate entities, then there will be Sajatiya Veda, Vijatiya Veda and all that will come. Maya and Brahman have a Vijatiya Veda, Swamiji. One is Chetanam, another is a Jadam. So Vijatiya Veda, etc. And Sajatiya Veda means both are independent of each other, both are the nature of Chetanam, consciousness, etc. Anyway, whatever the Veda, when you try to say that they limit each other. And no, Swamiji, there is no Sajatiya, Vijatiya Veda, well, but there is Swagata Veda. So Brahman has one part. In Brahman, there is one entity alone, Ekam. But the Maya is a part of that. If Maya is a part, means Brahman has a parts. If Maya is a part of Brahman, means Brahman has a parts. Then Brahman has a parts means when these parts together have joined to become Brahman, we have to say. Right? How they have joined, and anything which has a parts definitely will fall apart, we know. Anything which has a parts will definitely come to an end. It has come together, parts have come together, and at a one time they become, they fall apart when at another time. Therefore, that's not. Basically, become Advitiyam Brahma. And that anything which has parts is also limited entity. Anything which has part, that is how the space basically we say it is partless. For our understanding, we say it is partless. That's how it is infinite. And whatever the things which exist in the space has a parts. And space and time. Anyway, so basically, and how Maya, which is Jadam, is a part of Brahman, which is consciousness. Means a Jada part, which is totally of the opposite nature from the Brahman, which is consciousness. How they remain together. How they remain together. Anyway, so Maya cannot be separate. Maya cannot be identical. Maya, therefore, combined together. But Jada and this cannot be combined together. Mutually exclusive attributes cannot coexist. This thing we have to remember. Mutually exclusive things cannot coexist. And therefore, which category will you put? Maya is identical to Brahman? No. Maya is different from Brahman, separate from Brahman, distinct from Brahman? No. Then distinct and identical, mixture cannot be made. Then what? We have to say Maya is distinct from the identity, identical with Brahman. Maya is distinct from the Maya is distinct from even I can't put that. We can say in English, in Sanskritam, Maya cannot be Bhinnam from the Brahman. Maya cannot be Abhinnam from Brahman. Abhinnam, identical. Bhinnam is distinct. Maya cannot be distinct from Brahman. Maya, that's better. Maya cannot be distinct from Brahman. Maya cannot be identical with Brahman. And therefore, Maya is something distinct from, identical and distinct from Brahman. What is that category? That's not a category. That's what it is. That's not category. That's not a category. That Maya is this creation. Therefore, sṛṣṭo ādaraha nāsti. Anirvachanīya. Anyway, and here I would like to point one thing. There is something which is identical and separate. But that's here not between Brahman and Maya. For that I will give you example. Two examples. Is the wave different from water? No, Swamiji. Wave is not distinct from water. Wave is not distinct from water, different from water. Then wave is identical with water. If you say wave and water are identical, means different words for the one and the same entity, then where sometime I can use the word water when I want water, and sometime I can use the word wave when I need water. Right? I can use word jalam. Sometime I can use word water. Identical. Right? Two words, one entity. Therefore, sometime I say bring a glass of wave instead of saying bring a glass of water. Why not? No. Doesn't suit somebody. Okay. So, this is what exactly is. Wave cannot be called identical with the water. Wave cannot be called distinct, different from the water. Could you follow? Yeah. And therefore, basically, this is one. Now take the another example. Wave and water are different. then basically it's if wave and water are different, what will happen? They are not identical, that I already explained. If wave and water are different from each other, wonderful. It's, it's like some, a book has some clip. Suppose, let me take out the clip. Okay. Right now, clip and book identical. Identical means they're here it is non-separate from each other. True. But really speaking, even though they are non-separate from each other, I can definitely make them separate. Right? I can make them because they are really different. They have their own existence. Right now they look non-separate. But I can tell you, if this book is there somewhere else, I can just request you, kindly bring that clip from the book. Not book, don't bring book, only bring clip, you can bring. Whereas in case of wave and water, just bring wave. Don't bring water, just bring wave. No, that is not possible. Then wave and water are identical only, Swamiji. Then I can use the word water. Bring water, I can say, one. And tomorrow I will say bring wave. Just to enhance the vocabulary with the samanarthi, all these synonyms. One day I say bring water. Next day I can say bring wave. That's also not. Therefore, please understand, this Brahman and Maya, identity also is not there. Even they are not distinct from each other also. That's we have to understand. So, and here the entity which is distinct yet non-separate, that is a Vyashti Samashti Bheda. Vyashti Samashti connection is a Bheda Sambandha. Vyashti Samashti connection is a Bheda. I have already told you that. This body is there. The parts inside the body are non-separate from the body. But possibly one part they can remove it. Like especially gallbladder. Right? Somehow these surgeons, they like this. When they feel that they have to operate something, they have to do something. They have a khujli in the hand. So they say your gallbladder, is a source of all stones. Let's remove it. Yes, you can remove it. Right now it looks identical, means non-separate from the body. When you say body, you have included gallbladder, the part of it also. Amsha is included in Amshi, correct? Yet, Amsha can be made separate. Vyashti Samashti Bheda is Vyashti Samashti connection, Sambandha is Bheda Sambandha. Abheda means, definitely, when you say body, you need not say now, body along with the gallbladder. No, you need not say that. Body. It includes United States, includes New Jersey. You need not say separately. United States along with the New Jersey state. No, you need not say. Oh, therefore, Swamiji, they are identical. You cannot say, you need not say that. Therefore, they are identical. No, sir. No. Tomorrow, New Jersey can decide that we want to be an independent nation. That's how things are going on. Sometimes I hear Texas and somewhere that these kind of things are there. They want to become independent. And they can become independent nation. Therefore, it is unlike wave and water. Wave and water connection is a mithyā sambandha. But here this Bheda sambandha is there between Vyashti and Samashti. Between wave and water, there is no Vyashti Samashti Bheda. No, there is no Vyashti Samashti Sambandha. I am sorry. Vyashti Samashti Sambandha is not there between wave and water. Whereas in Vyashti Samashti, here, this kind of things, like you can remove one tree. When you say forest, that particular tree also is included there. In a Samashti, that particular tree, Vyashti, is included. You need not say separately. But even if that tree is removed due to some problem, died or something, they remove, still, well, both can exist independently. So that's how it is. So same way here, Brahman and Maya basically is not an identical, not a different, and they cannot be combined. It's because mutually exclusive identity and there when I say identity in Vyashti Samashti, well, it is, you have to understand, as a non-separate. Therefore we include it in that. But they have their own independent existence. Independent laws also are there. Here independent, I mean, there are Supreme Courts also. I never heard of that in India, one Supreme Court, but here the states have their Supreme Court also, something, and states have their own laws and these and that, and anyway, they can become independent also. So here between Vyashti Samashti, it is Bheda Sambandha, whereas between Maya and Brahman it is Bheda Vilakshana Sambandha. Could you follow now? I hope I'm not confusing you. Well, but if you get confused, I will be happy because you are understanding Maya. But basically, it is like this: Brahman is not distinct. But you cannot say Bheda Vilakshana means here Brahman and Maya are not identical. Bheda means Brahman and Maya are not identical. Brahman and Maya are not distinct from each other. So something Brahman and Maya has a relation which is Bheda Vilakshana, distinct from the identity between Brahman and Maya, and Maya is something which is not identical with the Brahman. Maya is not something which is different from Brahman. Okay, this is how it is. We have to understand. I myself get confused. That proves that really we are understanding. Anyway, so intellectually, basically, you are not able to categorize it. Identical or a different, distinct, you cannot be able to say. Okay, then still third thing also is there, and that is Maya with parts or without parts? Maya has parts or no? Brahman, of course, we know very well. Brahman is partless, whole. That's fine. Therefore, it is timeless. Anything which is time bound, anything which is an assembly is time bound, etc. We'll be seeing that. Anyway, like so parts, like a hall has a parts. Doors are there, windows are there, walls are there, floor is there, ceiling is there, various parts. So Maya is with parts or without parts. So basically, well, we cannot say either of that. We cannot say. Maya is with parts, you cannot say. Maya is partless, you cannot say. Therefore, here also category not available. How? Brahman is of course partless, whole, I have already told you. That's how we use word nishkalam, niravayam, right? Avayava, parts. Kala also means parts. Anyway, and why do you say that Maya is Maya is neither with the parts or nor without parts? How will you say that? Why do you say like that? Or not a mixture? Mixture, of course, will not be possible. It is because exclusive things cannot be combined. Now here, first thing, let's say Maya has parts. Okay, Maya has parts. See, whatever has got parts definitely will be an assembly. Car, home, everything. Body, book. Book also is a parts. Various pages have been put together. So, assembly, put together. And definitely, if Maya has a parts, it is an assemblage. Any assembly means an assemblage means a product. And product has a beginning. And so basically, if Maya has a parts, it will be assembly, it will be a product, and therefore Maya will have a beginning. But Shastra says Maya is definitely anadi, beginningless. Now this particular sentence I will explain you later. This part I have to explain you. What is this anadi? We generally feel Maya is anadi, means Maya is beginningless, means Maya is existing. Understand? Maya is existing from beginningless time. It is a blunder. Means you are again proving the existence of the Maya. Maya is Sat. Okay? Maya is beginningless does not mean Maya is beginninglessly existing. Then what is it? That I will tell you. Only one category which Vedanta talks about comes under a beginningless as well as having an end. Only one category. And that is what the Maya, that is what the adhyāropa, that is what, the ajñānam, that is what the samsara. That mithyā thing only comes under anadi as well as santa. Generally what is anadi, beginningless, we don't realize. When you say Maya is very innocent, we are. When we say Maya is existing from beginningless time, then that such kind of a Maya will never come to an end. Never comes to an end. What is beginninglessly existing, like Brahman, will also be there, which is endless. Anantam. What is anadi should be anantam. That's not possible, because Brahman and Maya both are anadi and anantam. Then both are independent of each other. Again, then you have to drop the word Brahman. There is nothing called which is limitless, because Maya is also anadi anantam. That's also limitless in time, beginninglessly existing and it has no end. Brahman also is beginninglessly existing and no end, and therefore both are independent realities. And then in that case both limit each other, etc. Therefore Maya is anadi and santa, which I have to explain you. But so this, any assembly means parts. Parts means an assembly put together. Maya has parts, means several parts. Well, no, Swamiji, Maya has parts, the triguna, I am coming to that. So basically, if it is an assembly, it's a product. Things are put together, car, etc., all this. Definitely, it begins in time. Any assembly, anything which is put together, assembly, product, is within time. If it is within time, it has a beginning, then that Maya cannot be called beginningless. And therefore, we cannot call Maya as parts. Anyway, so, if you say, no, Swamiji, Maya has a beginning, Maya has parts, they are put together. Sattva, Rajas, Tamoguna, Ishvara has put Sattva, Rajas, Tamoguna combined. Okay. If Maya is a product, has a parts, then it's a product, karyam, then it should have a karanam. It should have karanam. Like, you say the house. Somebody, you give example of a house. Correct. House has several parts put together. Therefore, there is a cause for that. Material, wood and cement or whatever, the bricks and what. Bricks, because I in my mind it's in house in India. Anyway, here it's just wood. Wood is a cause, majority. So basically, any product must have a cause. And therefore, if it must have a cause, then that cause has parts or not. If that cause is a partless, how it has given rise to parts? Anything, because karana gunaha karya anuvartante. Karana gunaha, whatever is there in the cause will manifest in the effect. So therefore, if Maya has a parts, product, put together, assembly, then it should have a cause, and cause should have a parts. No, Swamiji, cause is partless. How will you decide? How will you decide cause is partless? If it is a partless, how it has given rise to parts as a product? How the parts are manifest? How the parts are manifest from a partless? No. It must have a cause. Also must have a parts. Then those parts are put together. Then it must have cause. Could you follow? This is called what you know very well. You know that dosha we have already learnt in Panchadashi. Okay? Anyway, so Maya should be without parts. Maya should be without parts. So if it is without parts, then how will you explain these different features of universe? Where you say Sattva-guna manifest and Rajoguna manifest and Tamoguna. You can say Maya is partless only, Swami. It doesn't have any guna at all. Fine. But that Maya, well, only manifests as the Jagat. And in Jagat you find these three things. Knowing faculty, right? Knowing power, knowing faculty is there. Yes. Sattva-guna. Activity, power of activity, faculty of activity, etc. Yes. Rajoguna. And you find certain things are inert. That has an inertia. Doesn't exhibit activity also, does not exhibit knowing capacity, knowing or the activity also. Therefore it is inert, like a stone, etc. Like a mountain, etc. Inertia also is there. We have to say three things at least. There is a knowing faculty. Knowing power also as manifest, we have to say that. Or power of activity and inertia, everything is there. Ichha, of course, I have told you to include along with the power of activity, etc. They go together, Ichha and Karma. And therefore, if that three types of power have manifested in this world which you can experience, then it must have been there in the cause. And the cause is Maya. That's so. This only is the potential form. That's the cause. That's Maya, unmanifest. So in unmanifest, although there is three should be there. If these three are there, then these three parts are put together. If three parts are put together, the assembly product, then it must have a cause. Wow. That's how it is. Therefore, basically, so Maya is with parts or without parts. If you say Maya is without parts, creation cannot be explained. If you say Maya is with parts, you cannot explain the anadi, beginningless. The Shastra itself becomes wrong. And therefore Maya cannot be said to be with parts. Maya cannot be said to be without parts. And you cannot make a mixture partless and parts. Swamiji, it has parts, at the same time it is partless. No, sir. It's not. The thing which has parts, well, they put together only is called product, etc. Anyway, so this mutually exclusive thing, partless and part, having parts, etc., they mutually exclusive things cannot coexist. Therefore, you cannot say Maya is with parts and with partless also. No. And therefore, we have to say Maya is distinct from having parts. Maya is distinct from being partless. What is that category? Cannot. And therefore, Maya is called basically greatest wonder, Maha-adbhuta. So, which we are experiencing every moment, because anything in the creation is a product of Maya. Right? Therefore, but that creation, the cause of that creation, Maya, itself cannot be understood, with a certain logical categories, etc., cannot be understood. So creation also is like that. That's what they are. Physicists are experiencing like this. Physicists are really baffled with this universe, including space and time and everything. They have said these are all. They look very, very solid things. Nothing is solid. Space, time, curvature only has created this so-called gravitation. And the time itself, when you travel at the speed of the light, the entire cosmos becomes a drop. Drop. Because when you travel at the speed of light, there is no time at all. Amazing. If you go into quantum mechanics, your mind gets baffled. But we are, thank God, we are not sṛṣṭi chintakas. Our attention is on Brahman. Turiya chintaka. We are turiya chintaka, not sṛṣṭi chintaka. Sṛṣṭi is this, not available for any logical category. And therefore they have several views regarding sṛṣṭi. Ete vikalpaha, Pashakara says. Somebody says it is lila, and somebody says bhogartham and kridartham. Somebody says ichha matram. Somebody says kalat. We will be seeing that it will be coming. So not able to intellectually comprehend. Comprehend means not intellectually, we are not able to brand it, categorize it. As we categorize, then we go into subcategories. That's called analysis. Then further. Then in that analysis, now you further get categories. Again you categorize. That is how intellect proceeds, but not available. Therefore, the scientists ultimately they have to say uncertainty, etc. Anyway, so anirvachaniya rupa. Nirvachaniya means basically logically not available for categories. And that's how we have just said, like a magician's magical power. So you experience this, that's fine. But logically you cannot explain how the person has come from the back door. You cannot explain. Yeah, you experience, of course. So this that's a Jiva's Maya, magician's Maya. This is Ishvara's Maya. Yeah, but it is like this. And therefore, what is the creation? How it has come about? What is the purpose of creation by God? My God! Even in Texas recently, the 2-3 people were stuck with this. Stuck. No, but what is the purpose? Swami, tell me that. Don't go further. What is the purpose of the creation? Means there is a creation. I said that is the blunder. That there is creation. Over. That's it. It is saying there is Maya. There is a potential also unmanifest. That Maya is there with Brahman. Maya-svarupa. We don't accept. This is anirvachaniya rupa. Time is up. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shānti Shānti Shāntiḥ. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sorry, I didn't realize that's a part of Maya, okay.